Is Cape Coral the place to buy property in 2024? That's probably a question you probably thought about. And I'm going to tell you the answer to that question is yes. You're probably like, yeah, of course you're going to tell me that. You're a realtor. Why wouldn't you tell me that? Well, I'm not just a realtor. I also have lived in Cape Coral for over 20 odd years. I think about 23 years now. And in my 6 years of existence on this planet, I used to live in England and Ohio and other areas. This is the longest I've ever lived anywhere in any one spot, and I have no intention of moving. Though at times when it comes November, it's 93 degrees out, I sometimes feel like moving somewhere else to like, oh my goodness, I wish it would cool down, which it does eventually. And that's one of the reasons why I like buying here, because the weather's great in the wintertime. So let's just talk about the real estate in general. So 2023 was definitely not as busy as 2022 was. One of the main reasons for that, and there's two reasons really, but one of the big ones was the rise in interest rates. Now we know that interest rates hit almost 8%. They're now back down in the high 6s. So all of that did have some effect on our market. One of the biggest effects though was Hurricane Ian. And sometimes the media makes things seem a lot worse than they really are, because what the media tends to focus on the really bad areas. Now, and then you start thinking, well, if it's bad like in Fort Myers Beach and Sanibel, it must be like that in Cape Coral, which it was not like that at all. Because I remember when I drove down to Fort Myers Beach, it was like almost gut-wrenching to see the level of destruction down there and see what's happened as a result of that. But we never experienced that in Cape Coral. Now, we did have some areas where some of the homes were flooded, but they weren't flooded to the level that you saw in Fort Myers Beach, or you weren't where total buildings just got obliterated. No, the main damage was related to wind, which was basically shingle loss, loss of fences, pool cages, and trees. Within where I live, when I walk the streets right after Hurricane Ian, within about 3 streets, about 60 plus houses had top roofs. I was not one of those, fortunately. But if you walk around now, or maybe just one. So it's vastly improved from what it was. About every fence in the area was down, and they're now back up, as mine is. So as you walk around and drive around Cape Coral today, you definitely wouldn't see anything that really tells you, hey, there was a hurricane here, look what it did. Not like you would see in Fort Myers Beach. And having lived in Ohio, lived in Cincinnati, go Bengals, I'm a big Bengals fan. One thing that was always something there in the summertime was tornadoes. Tornadoes was always a concern because we got warnings. You always wonder, like, am I safe? Do I need to move? You know, and there is a whole lot of warning with that. Now with a hurricane, I have plenty of warning. We can watch hurricanes a week to 10 days, weeks in advance. So we have days notice if we need to leave or not. So it's not like it's a last minute decision, at least it shouldn't be. So we can leave the area. So Ian definitely did have an impact on our real estate market, as did interest rates as well. But it said the interest rates wasn't just affecting our area, it affected all over the United States and continues to do so too. But as we go into 2024, there are things that do make our area very desirable. One of those I briefly talked about is the weather, particularly in the wintertime. Now it is hot in the summer. We're talking about typically 93 degrees from May through to November, which is a long time. Now, when I lived in Cincinnati, it got hotter. We used to get temperatures over 100 degrees. It just didn't last as long. So here, it just lasts much longer. However, the winter times are a lot more enjoyable. I didn't actually enjoy the weather in Cincinnati. It gave me some health issues that since moving south, I don't have that problem anymore. And I have no intention of moving back up that way ever again, because I don't want to deal with the winters. In fact, if it gets to 50 degrees, I'm freezing cold and miserable, which seems kind of funny. Particularly when I come from England, that was not an unusual temperature to be dealing with on a daily basis, but it's what you get used to. But it does allow me to do things here in the wintertime, which you'll be able to see in a minute, that you can't do in other parts of the country. And really enjoy that. Enjoy the ability to fish, to walk around, nice sunny days like today, a little bit of clouds, and be able to wear shorts. And like I am right now, I'm not dressed like it's freezing out. You're also going to look at, where is the money going? What sort of money is being spent on real estate in the last couple of months in Cape Coral? And we recently had one of the highest priced homes sell in Cape Coral back in November. I'll tell you a bit about that. But also look at two very major developments that are going in the downtown area of Cape Coral. One is being built now for about a year. It's going to be completed in summer of 2024. That is curved on 47th. And then the other one is the Divinity Basin project. Each of those are over $100 million worth. That just broke ground in the last couple of weeks. And I'll tell you about that as well. So let's look at the things I like to do, which you'll be able to do when you move down here. So let's go on and let me show what I've been doing. So this is what I'm talking about. Our weather in the wintertime allows you to do that, to be able to fish. I enjoy fishing. This is my buddy Larry. He's also a customer of mine as well. We go out quite regularly out of Pine Island and we go fishing. And I've always done that throughout the year, but even more so in the wintertime. It's not quite so hot. So actually an enjoyable day in the water. This is him with a redfish. You're now able to keep those. I like to keep the two of them. It has to be minimum length. But redfish is a fun fish to catch. And this is myself with one as well that we caught. And then this is a good day fishing. This is a buddy of mine, Rob. He has now moved out the area. He was a captain. But this is in the wintertime, we're able to catch sheephead, and that's what you see. This is a day's worth of fishing. He's absolute fishing master when it comes to that. And then you got the trout, which you see right here. Trout was kind of a fun fish to catch. It's very easy to catch those. Sometimes you'll catch 20, 30 at a time, believe it or not. You're only allowed to keep about 6 of those. I think one can be over 20. That's between 15 and 20 inches. On the sheephead, you can basically keep, I think, as many of those as you want. I just can't remember exactly what number is offhand. Here again, there's some more of those fish that we caught out. This is said in the wintertime that we've done that. More of the sheephead right here. And this is a nice one I caught, pretty good size. Again, this was in December, January, that we go out and be able to do that. And able to go out boating, kayaking, and not worry about freezing temperatures when it's going to snow. That's one thing I like about that area. In the wintertime, I can do that, and I also get to see some of the wildlife. This is back in Pine Island, one of the little areas where they have, this is all actually pelicans. There's a ton of white pelicans on this island. I can't remember what the call of it. It's just a little island, Barrett Island. I think what key that was, but this is what we saw one day. So the weather here in the wintertime enables you to do that, to be able to go fishing, catch all those fish, enjoy that. And as I said, that's something we do enjoy doing in the wintertime. So that's one of the things I'm highlighting. You can do regardless of any parts of the country in the wintertime. Enjoy our Florida winters with the sun, be able to walk and not freeze to death. So we talked about the weather, because the weather in Florida in the wintertime is what draws a lot of people down here, gets them out of the cold and that sort of thing. I mean, our weather in summer can be pretty brutal. When I used to live in Ohio, I used to live in Cincinnati, go Bengals, I found the weather actually was hotter. We could get temperatures over 100 degrees and stuff like that. We don't quite get that level of temperature here. We're generally maybe 93 max in the summertime, but it's just longer. And we tend to get also, obviously, where it's a lot more humid. But the big difference though is the wintertime. The other thing too, let's look at the second of three things, and it's kind of like follow the money. An interesting thing is just consider how many homes we've had sell in Cape Coral over $1 million in the last 120 days. And we have about some 59 properties listed here. This doesn't include everything because it won't include the new construction. But if we have a look at a map of those, which we see of Cape Coral, it's pretty much scattered all over. Some of the high values that we've had are actually in the southeast Cape Coral. This one right here is $3.7 million. It was a new home, but that actually is not the newest sold home we've had in Cape Coral in the last month or two. Back in November of 2023, we actually had a home that sold for $5.8 million, and that sat at this location right here, and it's this one that I just highlighted. Now the price you saw right there just basically as a lot, but this was a brand new construction that was built, and it was sold by I think Sotheby's International Real Estate, and it sold for $5.8 million. They did buy some additional furniture in there that pushed it over $6 million. So that has been in the last month that we've had somebody buy a home in Cape Coral for almost $6 million. That has never happened before. Like I said, we've got another one here, 3.7 mil, $1 million, $1.2 million. If I change the criteria just to over 2 million, let's take a look what we've got right here. We've got 6 that are sold. And the interesting thing is they're predominantly in the southeast part of the Cape, and the southeast is this area and through here. It's also interesting, mostly in zip code 33904, and I'll do a video later on about what sort of houses you see in 33904 to the zip code I live in. And you can actually buy houses anywhere from the 250 range on up to $6 million, so it's all different price ranges that occur here. But in the 2 million plus range, and again over 3 million, they're predominantly to be in the southeast. These are in the southwest, but they're really right on the edge, because if I draw a line here, this side here is our southeast, this side is the southwest. So it shows you that people aren't afraid to spend a lot of money on real estate in Cape Coral. So that's always a good sign. I'm talking about recently done that too, in the last 30, 60, 120 days. But let's talk about something else. Let's talk about developments, okay? And we're going to focus on 2 developments. I'm going to show you where those are. One is going to be at this spot right here, which is the Bimini Basin development. This is about $120 million one, and this is another one on 47th. So those are the 2 ones we're going to talk about. So this is downtown Cape Coral right here that you're looking at. So this is Cape Coral downtown right here. So if I just draw that, let me do this again. Okay, let me get this. Okay, so this is Cape Coral Parkway. So this is a downtown area, and this is as well. So a lot of restaurants on 47th, bunch in here. The yacht club is down this area here. Bimini Basin is where this development's going in right now. So let's switch over that. We'll take a look at it. It is this one right here, Bimini Basin West. You can see it's highlighted right here where that will be. So this just broke ground in the last month or so. This is projected what that will look like when it's finished. So I'll just read the blurb sheet on it, just give you a bit of info. It says, so Bimini Square is a $100 million plus mixed-use development. It says in South Cape Coral, it's actually more like the southeast. Include 190 units of multifamily living space, a 625 space parking garage, with then 25 available for the public, a 48,000 square foot medical office for Lee Health, a 3,000 square foot for Omelette House on Cape Coral Parkway, and a 7,500 square foot waterfront deep lagoon restaurant with boat slips. So that is a basic understanding of what you are seeing right here. And this is an artist concept of what it's going to look at. This will totally transform downtown Cape Coral. It's going to look totally different from what it does right now. So this is just one section. And this is one on the south side of Cape Coral Parkway. The other development is on the north side, which we'll go over in a minute. But I instead of just show you the pictures. So this is what I think the restaurant will look like. And this is probably due to be completed in the next 2 years. I said it just broke ground in the last month or so. That's in November, December 2023. So let's see anything else I can show you right here. But basically this is what it's going to look at, like potentially. This is what they think. So this is one development, as I said. So let's switch over to the other one. This is, I think, called the Cove on 47th. Yeah, the Cove at 47th. This is on the north side of Cape Coral Parkway. If I go back to that map to show you again. So the Bimini Basin, again, was this area right here. The Cove is this one, because if I can zoom in on this, you can see they're in the process of breaking ground of this. But this was actually started over a year ago. It's pretty well along. It's probably due to be completed by summer of 2024. And when it's expected to be completed, it's supposed to look, see if I can make this bigger. I think it might be as big as I can make it. This is what it's supposed to look like. So again, this is going to completely transform how the downtown area looks like. So the Bimini Basin is on the south side, this is on the north side. They're actually within walking distance of each other, maybe a 10-minute walk, not that far away. So this is what I expect to look like. It's going to have a saltwater pool in the center of it, where again it's going to be mixed use. Right in here we'll have commercial, have residential as well. Let's see, does it tell me exactly? Yes, 296 luxury apartments, 119,000 square foot retail office space with a 569 parking garage, 125 reserved for the public, include a rooftop bar, a lounge component, a rooftop sky deck, resort style amenities. So all that is what is coming into this area of Cape Coral in the downtown area. So it said this will completely transform our downtown area. And what tends to happen is one project comes in, you'll get another one. So these are two main ones right now. As I said, these have broken ground. They're not just talked about as potential. These are going to happen. They're in the process of going in right now. So I said this one will finish by summer 2024. It's going to be interesting what it looks like when it's all done. This is kind of exciting for Cape Coral. So is Cape Coral still a place to move to in 2024? The obvious answer is yes. It's going to change a lot from where it was. 5 years from now, it's going to look vastly different. We have some park projects in the area. The other areas of Cape Coral as well, in the southwest, northwest, you're going to see major changes. For example, the Seven Islands, that sort of thing. Some of those are still in the developmental stage. But what I wanted to focus on is what is going in right now. The Yacht Club area of Cape Coral is due for a major change. The city is looking to do that right now. Another one is Beach Parkway. I do another video about that at some point in time. But if you do have other questions about the real estate market in Cape Coral, I'm pretty well versed in it, as you can tell. I live in the area. I don't just like do videos about, oh, I live outside of Cape Coral, let's go into that. No, I live here. I frequent the restaurants and tell you about those, tell what's going out in the southwest, southeast, about waterfront, all that. I'm completely familiar with it. So hopefully you have any questions on that, let me know, but that gives you some insights to what's going on in our area. I look forward to hearing from you.